Alright, welcome back. Now we're gonna talk about themes and theme overrides. So in Soothsayer, you probably have picked one theme at the beginning and maybe you have never really changed it. So let's have a look at this, what it does and how we can use this in our casting to personalize our stream a little bit more to our liking. So under the settings and config tab, you have here the theme header, and usually you are probably on Casteloff SD or you are on Casteloff just without the SD. You're most likely not on default theme, maybe you're on some of these other themes. So let's have a look at what happens if I change this theme and how that impacts our setup. So one theme I want to show you is the NGS version 2.0.0 by Nexus Gaming Series. So I just select that. Of course, you have to download it. We have a lot of links to these themes on the document, which is in the description link. So remember that these themes, they live in a folder close to our streaming folder. So here we have a folder named themes, and here I just unzipped these different themes, and here's the NGS theme, for example. So if you scan that folder which you have where all your themes are living in, so just select that folder here and then hit scan, and it should update this list. So we select NGS and we set it. And now you see already in the background in OBS things have changed. So first of all, here this thing has changed, but let's go through it step by step. So our pre-live scene has not changed at all, because here we are actually not using any web sources from Soothsayer. Actually, we do use some. We have here the ticker overlay, which apparently is not supported in this theme. Alright, you see there's like some messages up here. We're gonna have a short discussion on how to fix that. But besides that, we have the logos. They are really the only web source which are coming from Soothsayer here, except for the ticker. And the logos, they look exactly the same no matter which theme you pick. So that makes sense, right? Let's go to the so NGS Hype, that's a video. We are not going there. Let's go to the pregame scene and look what is different here. The first thing you notice is well, there's obviously a different background, and our camera is not in the frame anymore, because the frame is actually positioned slightly differently. So if you're switching to the NGS theme, you probably want to duplicate your scene collection here to have an advanced casting NGS collection in which you reposition your camera. Okay. Also, the NGS theme obviously has the NGS logo everywhere, so you would not need your tournament logo to show really. So we can actually just turn that one off. So it is a little bit less crowded. But you also see that there's these there's the in-game overlay actually appearing already. You might not want this, and we can talk about how to fix that later. Okay, interesting is the standings. That one automatically brings you to the bracket instead of the standings. So we're gonna talk about how to fix that one too. It's great if you are actually in the playoffs in your casting, then this will look amazing. But if we are in the round robin phase, this will be of little use. Let's go to the map draft, and I actually really like this one. It has like a little different format. Remember how it looked like before in the Casteloff SD. It looks something like that, and that's also good. I think they are both fine. I like the NGS theme actually a little bit better. Okay, and we're gonna talk about how to get only this one into our setup if we want this. Okay, the draft screen not much happened here. I think it's pretty much the same. We can check it really quick if we switch back to cast aloft. Oh, actually, it looks a little bit different, right? So this is the cast aloft theme over here, and this is the NGS theme. So they are looking different. They're both cool though. The game scene. Here's our little stinger. The game scene looks like this. I'm not sure if there is any significant difference. Let's check. No, that one is exactly the same actually. Alright, nothing new here. Okay, the stats screen. Again, we are seeing that the team names are still being displayed, and we have here now this game summary in the middle. You can compare that with the SD theme. It looks something like this, but they both work. And because that frame is just the size of the little window which would show in game, which is displaying your stats, that will be exactly matching, so you don't have to worry about that part. Okay, post game, similar to our pre-game scene, we would have to adjust everything which goes into these frames here. So that's a given. But let's have a look at the player profile overlay actually really quick, because that one also looks quite different. I'm not even sure that this one is working properly. Let's have a quick check here if I put in the resolution in which it should be displayed. Yeah, so that one is obviously not really working. So we would have to overwrite that scene with the cast aloft theme. Okay, post live. Nothing changed here because there are actually no web sources coming from Soothsayer. Panic screen, nothing changed. So this is the work which you would have to do, is make these adjustments here in the pre-game scene and make the adjustments in the post-game scene as well. And then you might want to consider bringing back the tournament logo in the game scene, because I don't think it's showing here actually. It's nowhere. And you might bring it back in the draft screen as well. Okay, so now how can we mix these themes? For example, the ticker is gone here, right? So we go back to Soothsayer, and first you have to make a decision which one of your themes should actually be the one you want to use more. So that would be your base theme, and then you would override all those which do not work. So for example, if I prefer the NGS colors in general, something like this, then I would override all the scenes which are not working in here. For example, the ticker does not work in this scene. So I would go into theme overrides, and I would find here the ticker lower third, and replace that by cast aloft SD. If I hit update, go back to OBS, and if I refresh that, it should actually work, but it does not. Set overrides. You have to click that button. Here we go. So now our ticker is still from the cast aloft theme, in which the ticker is actually working, but all the other stuff is still NGS, right? So the standings are not showing here properly, so that is another one we want to fix. So we go to tournament standings, override that. So that is showing properly again. And on the map draft, we are happy with the NGS theme. Draft is fine, but I would guess that the player stats overlay is not working here. So let's check that out really quick. We go to operate, we go to stats, overall pick and ban, pick some hero, and see, yeah, that looks not good, right? So we have to overwrite that theme. So here we have stats lower third. Let's do that one, castle of SD. Set override. Try it again. And that looks better. Okay. Game was fine. Nothing to change here. Game summary is fine too. Nothing to change here. Post game. I mean, we have to adjust these things, but there's also this player profile overlay, which looks ugly. So we have to go and do it's called, HotS player profile here at the very bottom. Castle of SD, set override. So now that is showing properly again, but of course you have to adjust it to the right frame over here. And let's also bring it back to where it belongs, behind the frame. Okay. Then post live, that's fine, and panic was also fine. So these are the changes you would do with theme overrides to make sure that everything is showing properly. And that is themes and theme overrides. And let's have a look at other themes and how much work they would actually mean to us. So here's Heroes Launch. They also came with their own theme. So if you set that one up, remember that our theme overrides are still in effect. So our ticker is still from Castle of SD, because in the theme overrides, no override means the theme we have set here, and all the other ones are still in overwritten. All right. Okay, and don't confuse this with default theme. A default theme is just a text-only theme, basically. Alright, so now let's have a look how these things look like. You see that these are actually drastically different. So here your camera would go into this frame. Your winner camera or co-caster camera would go in here. You have here actually a chat window where you can display the chat of your Twitch, and obviously other things look very different too. You might say they look a little bit too fancy, because here 210 Blackman Street is not displaying properly at all because the name is too long. So you have to try to fix that. The current standings, that's one we have overwritten. So let's see actually if we have to do that. Actually, we can go and just hit restore default. And let's see what that does. And I think that's fine. Let's make really sure here by going to the standings overlay and refresh that. Yeah, so we are okay here. Even our ticker works still. Map draft looks different, but not too different. It's still the same layout as in the Castle Lob theme. The background here is different with this planet over here, and obviously the top part is different. This one looks different. Here we can see that 210 Blackman Street the name is too long. Heroes Launch appears down here. Besides that, this is the draft screen, and it should be fine. The game scene. Again, check the name. That this is a little bit too large, but besides that, it should be okay. Stats. Oh, what happened here with that screen? That one is not alright. You probably want to overwrite this one. Alright. It should be looking something like this. Something like this at least. Alright. Post-game is similar to pre-game because it's the same source. So you have to make the same modifications there. Thanks for watching is not affected, panic is not affected. So this is how different themes look like and how much work they would encompass to do. I'm gonna switch back here to cast the law of SD, just so that I have everything set back as I want them, as I had them in the beginning. But it is, this is how you would change the theme and a little bit of discussion on what you would have to change to make these themes work for you. So now, in the next episode, we're gonna go into a little bit of the details on how the theme actually works. And then after that, we're gonna discuss on how we can mod a theme so that it actually becomes your own very personalized theme.